Many of you are aware of what is happening in Gaza. And tomorrow is a working day. So many of us will be going back to the schools. Many of us will be going back to work. And the first thing you will be faced with when you go back to school is, are you condemning the act of Hamas? Now, as Canadians, as Muslims living in this country, we're really struggling with what's called Islamophobia. So we need not to surge the Islamophobic attitude that we're seeing from the public around us. We need the media to lower their tone of racism and discrimination and phobia against Muslims. And also the Western governments are fueling the surge of Islamophobia against Muslims in the world. This is something that needs to be kept in mind. Rather than being asked whether we're supporting Hamas or not supporting Hamas, we need to ask, why is this happening in the Middle East? Not too long ago, there were many invasions to Gaza. Many children were killed, and the whole world was keeping a blind eye and kept a mouth shut. Why right now, all of a sudden, this has become the focal of attention? There's a land that has been occupied for over 75 years. There are people who are living in siege in a very small geographical area for over 17 years. There is an invasion to the Islamic shrines of the Muslim Ummah, and no one is speaking a word. There are human rights and international law violation that has been done by the Israelis, and no one is opening their own mouth. Why all of a sudden we're seeing double standards? We're seeing all the Western countries standing up with the oppressor, with the occupier, against those whose rights have been deprived for over so many years. So rather than being asked of whether you're supporting Hamas or not supporting Hamas, say this question. We need to reverse the rhetoric. No, we need not to be all the time be intimidated with this attitude. We need to rephrase things and put them in the right perspective. Why are Israel government always above the international law? What we're asking for is deal with the root of the cause of the problem. There are human beings living in Gaza. 2 million people living in a small geographical area have been deprived from the basics of living. Now, the amount of force that are being used against them is unbelievable. We need to put things into the right perspective, look to the root of the cause, and rephrase and change the rhetoric that has been spread around. We do not belong to any organizations. We have no political agenda as Muslims living in this part of the world, but we are very concerned with everyone who's suffering. We have stood up with the indigenous people and spoke about the human rights violation. And we need to stand up and speak about what is happening in Palestine and any other parts of the world.